Hey, Homestead Phil here, Rent the Chicken.
Homestead Jenn, also Rent the Chicken, and we are with Homestead Marlena in New Jersey. Woo!
Hey,
Homestead,
welcome, Homestead Marlena.
Homestead Marlena is new with Rent the Chicken for 2021. She joined us in the fall. She has already made some Hatch the Chicken deliveries with more to come, and she is working on getting her coops ready. She already has reservations, so she's covering northern New Jersey for the most part. She's also offering Hatch the Chicken to Philadelphia. So welcome, Homestead Marlena.
Yes.
Thank you. Want to know what is new on your homestead or your farm? You call it a farm, right?
It's a farm, Pip Farm in Long Valley, New Jersey. A lot of people have the same new thing. Tons of snow, just tons and tons of snow. Luckily, I was able to knock some off the roofs and stuff, and all the structures are still up, but 30 inches and then another 8 and then another 4 today, and it might get even more tonight. So I used to be up in New Hampshire, and my brother's like, come back down to Jersey. The winters aren't so bad. Well, I had to get out the snowshoes, and it was just like New Hampshire all over again.
I think they were saying the same thing about people living in Texas. Come on down to Texas. The winters aren't that bad.
Right.
I don't know how many inches of snow.
So how many inches of snow do you usually get in a regular winter?
In New Jersey, it might do maybe 4 inches, then maybe 6 inches, and then it all melts within a week.
Right.
Like we had the big dump like February 1st. So like, what is it now? The 18th, 17th?
Still there.
Yeah, it's all still there. And more keep coming, piling up.
Yeah. But the chickens are fine. The quail are fine. Do you have some ducks too?
I have 2 geese.
Okay.
And they are like, what is up with this? Because I usually have this nice pool for them to dip their heads in and splash around, and that is like solid,
Yeah.
So
so
they can have a drink, but they can't have a swim.
Okay. Yeah. Well, drinks are better than swimming this time of year, right?
Yeah. And most of my chickens and my guineas and the quail, they all enjoy eating snow.
That works. Yeah. And
I walk in the aviary, and the quail are like eating the snow off my boots. They love me.
Right. Homestead Des in Texas. We chatted with her recently, and they it was cold and snowy there, and her chickens were also just eating the snow for hydration. I mean, they're smart. They know it makes sense.
Body temperature is really warm.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions?
Homestead Rayleigh's saying hey. Homestead Katie's watching.
Wonderful.
Hello to Christine. Hello to Denise. Everyone's saying hey. So good to have everyone. Thanks for signing in. Yeah. So do you have a question for us?
Well, what trombone tunes do your chickens enjoy?
Oh my!
No. Homestead Phil is a musician, which is why we have all of the, we have the music section of the Rent the Chicken office here. So Homestead Phil,
and back here is the trombone.
Yeah, he is a trombone player, and he has played since elementary school.
Actually, high school. I started playing trumpet in elementary, and then baritone, and then I wanted to be in the jazz band, and
they need a trombone.
Player.
So then Homestead Phil also he was playing the trombone at the church band. We have a church band, and the director actually asked if he could play the bass.
And I was like, "What? Am I not good enough on the trombone?" That wasn't it. But I also
bass blends better. Yeah, you can sing over it.
Holds the bass line better.
Well, we didn't have a bass player. So I learned how to play the bass in high school. I was in the orchestra, so I played the upright string bass. I also played that year the bass in the musical. So, but I hadn't touched a bass in like 20 something years.
Yeah, and then so he was asked on a Tuesday. Sure. They got him the bass on a Thursday, and he played in church on Sunday. Who does that? I don't do that. They barely trust me singing in the crowd. So to answer the question at hand is which tunes did which trombone tunes did the chickens like?
But which animals don't like the trombone?
Well, I'll tell you, Gibby Kitty. does not like the trombone.
Uh-uh.
She like runs and hides when the trombone comes out. Although she doesn't seem to mind the bass. She sticks around, but that trombone, Homestead feels like, and the kitty is like, I'm out of here. She is done. She could be sleeping and snoring on the bed, and then she is like, I am not even part of this. So I think though so we know the kitty doesn't like the trombone tunes. I don't know that the chickens have a preference, but I'll tell you who else really likes the trombone tunes. The ducks.
Oh, yes.
Now keep in mind, the ducks, you're walking through the house real quiet, you flip a light on and they're like, oh, quack, 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 quack. They're like our watchdogs out there, or they hear the shower turn on or the door to a room close or whatever's going on. Yeah. And they're like, oh, quack, quack, quack. So they're the backup singers when Homestead Phil plays the trombone up here, right?
I do have to say in high school, maybe shortly after high school, I can't remember exactly when, one of the local high schools was doing a musical where the song 76 Trombones was to be played.
Oh.
So on the very last night, they tried to get 76 trombones on the stage to play 76 trombones. I think we had like 65 of them.
Oh, that's close.
So, but that anyway.
Close. Yeah. Oh, that's fancy.
That was fun.
That's a good.
That was fun.
I didn't see that coming. We've been asked some crazy questions. That's a good one. And I think for those that don't know, Homestead Marlena is also a musician. Do you want to tell us, this is not one of the 3 questions that we asked, do you want to tell us like what instruments you play?
I started, with a little bit of piano as a child. The first musical band instrument was in 8th grade. I played the sousaphone.
Not what it was starts with.
It was bigger than me, and the school owned it, so I didn't have to rent it. It was like, if you can play that, pick it up and play it, you can play it. And I'm like, well, we used to keep a big pipe on the shed roof to keep it from blowing off, and then us kids would climb up on the roof and play it like an alphorn. So when I picked up that sousaphone, I was, 80 pounds, and it was, way bigger. And I picked it up, and most people, when they play some high crazy notes, perfect low B flat. Everybody in the room was like, the music teacher says, all right, you can play that.
Now, for somebody that doesn't know what the sousaphone is, can you describe it?
It's kind of tuba instrument that John Philip Sousa had designed with a movable bell so that his band could go on the road without having a big thing that would get dented up. So the bell comes off and fits inside, and it's a helicon that you can wear around your body. So you don't have to be like using straps and stuff.
Yeah. So maybe people think of it as a tuba.
They do. They do think of it as a tuba, but
it's not.
But you kind of wear it.
Yeah.
So,
instead of holding it in front of you.
Right, like a baritone.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually an alto horn. But...
Okay.
Yeah, instead of holding it, you wear it like a jacket.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. You can actually put your body through it.
Yeah. So then from there.
So also because I could read bass clef, they had me playing bassoon, they had me playing string bass. I played electric bass in the jazz band, and then I wanted to gig on my own. It's hard to get solo gigs as like a tuba player. So I'm like, what else is big and hard to lug around? Oh, the harp. So I started playing harps, and I was in a band and they were just drowning me out, the hammered dulcimers and the fiddle. And so I'm like, all right. So I started playing mandolin and then guitar and all that kind of stuff. So
and she is like, you're the director of your bell choir.
Handbell choir.
Handbell choir, right. Yeah.
So teamwork.
Yeah.
Yes. I've done handbells once.
Yeah. I went to a couple concerts. They were fantastic.
So I was going to try to train my birds to go into the coop at night when I'd play taps.
Oh.
It does not work at all. It gets the guineas all excited. They're the ducks. So it's like, all right.
Well, we have another question for you, and that is,
you've got 6 eggs. What you cooking?
Well, it's prime season now for this 2-ingredient recipe.
Okay.
Maple sugar,
Yep.
egg whites.
Oh, tell me more, because I just made a bunch of maple sugar. I won't go into it. I made too much.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can never have too much. So you just, if you have very fresh eggs, like from Run the Chicken, where you can just go out, get the very, very fresh eggs. You don't have to use all this cream of tartar stuff.
Yeah.
You just like separate the whites from the yolks. And if you have a good heritage bird, the yolk is nice and separable.
Yeah.
And then you just whip that up, you know.
Your egg whites.
Yeah.
With a hand or your mixer or either.
Whatever you have.
Old school, but okay.
A good whisk, a KitchenAid. Yeah, it depends on how much time, arm is, whatever. Till you get like stiff peaks, and then you just start sprinkling in that maple sugar.
Okay.
And then you get like a bag. If you have a piping bag, that's great. If you just have like a used bread bag or whatever, a Ziploc bag, you just fill the meringue up in there, cut out a little corner, or use your favorite piping tip. Have a cookie sheet with parchment paper on it, and just like put little blobs
Okay.
of the meringue.
Yep.
You put it in the oven at a super low temperature. You can even have it go overnight if you want at like 200, however low your oven can go safely. And so it just dries it out.
Oh.
And just bakes that meringue. And then you have these like little puffs that are just delicious. 2 ingredients.
Can you make some tonight?
Yeah, I can make some tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then your yolks, what I sometimes do is I make a custard. If I have milk and sugar, vanilla, and cornstarch, whip it up on the stove.
Yeah.
And then
I love a good custard.
And just pour it into like used bean dip jars. Put the lids on. Have one for now, warm. The rest you can just put them in the fridge, and then you've got like, you know, dessert.
Out. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
individual size.
Yeah.
Unless you have a family, and then they'll just devour it all the first.
Or me.
Or if you have Phil, then it's gone. Right. Well, just to kind of wrap it up here. Thank you, Homestead Marlena, for joining us. She does provide Hatch the Chicken and Rent the Chicken to Northern New Jersey.
And if you're still watching this, hit the share button.
Please
because
share
we
with
need
your friends.
as many people to watch this as
Because this
possible.
is hilarious.
This is.
I think so. And we are Homestead Phil, Homestead Jen, co-founders Rent the Chicken.
I'm Phil. She's Jen. If there
If
was a
there was any
question.
confusion. And you can find all of our information at rentthechicken.com. Thanks for signing in, Homestead
All right.
Marlena. Thanks a bunch. See ya.
All right, take care. Good night.